Hey everybody, what is up rock stars and welcome back. I am Natty Rock for the replay crew. Welcome, thanks for joining us. We go live Monday through Thursday at 6:30 p.m. So we'd love for you guys to join us, and we talk about missing persons cases, and we're starting to talk about other kinds of true crime and shedding spotlights on other people's cases. So love for you guys to join us on the stream. Um, Without further ado, I'm gonna say hello to everybody in the chat. Welcome, guys. I saw Crystal's on here, Dragon Man, and Danette's on here too. So welcome, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me again today. It's so much fun when you guys come hang out. Um, Crystal was saying hello. Dragon Man was saying hello earlier. Everybody kind of checking in. The rain has been crazy. The nor'easter is like hitting over where I am. I don't know if anybody else is like getting that rain, but it's a little crazy. And super annoying because all of the beautiful orange fall leaves have all been ripped off the trees already, and it's supposed to rain all week, including Halloween. So that really blows, but I guess it is what it is. There's not much I can do about it. So we're just gonna roll with the punches. I hope everybody's staying safe with between the nor'easter and the that what was it called? Like storm bomb or something like that over on the west coast. Like that's crazy. I hope everybody's staying safe and staying well out there. Um but let's get right into Gabby's case. Um a big question that we've been having on the channel is what happens next. Is there anything that can be done for Gabby's case? As we were looking at Mia Mercano's case, we realized that just recently her family took legal action against the apartment complex in which she lived at for negligence. So the question is, what can Gabby do? And in Mia's case, they also went after the estate of the person who is said to be her murderer, pretty much confirmed by police that it was, in fact, the person who murdered her. Um, so that will be very interesting to see what happens and what goes forward with Mia's case. But in Gabby's case, as we all know, it's a very different situation. I mean, they were doing a van life. Like, who can you really blame at that point? Maybe there's legal action they can take against Brian's estate, but again, it's a question in my mind, knowing how attorneys tend to be, where they're not going to go after a case unless there's money in it, um, especially going after somebody's estate. Like, how much would Brian Laundrie's estate really be? They were both 20 somethings living in a van. Like, they both had equal equity. I don't know how much they could really go after his estate. Could they really go after his parents maybe? I don't know. But I did find this video that I wanted to watch with you guys and react to from NBC New York, titled "Where Does the Gabby Petito Investigation Go From Here?" I think it would be really pertinent, and hopefully this gives us some of the answers we're looking for. Um, so let's see what we find out. Also, there's been some other weird stuff that's going on. At one point, apparently, WFLA was reporting that investigators mistaked Brian's mom for Brian. The Laundrie's attorney just spoke out recently, and Brian's autopsy report, like more stuff came out about that. So let's see what we can find out today. Dragon Man said, I think this case is about played out, just my 2 cents. Yeah, I mean, I think I think it is and it isn't. Like, I think that there could still be like legal action taken, but who knows? And then, like I said, there's still the autopsy report that's like coming out. And I was seeing some stuff that like it was kind of inconclusive. So let's find out about that whole thing because that's going to be a little ridiculous. And a lot of people are still believing that it wasn't really Brian out there. So who knows at this point? what's gonna happen next. I mean, like, what were the chances of, like, all of a sudden I went on YouTube and it was like, Roberta Laundrie was mistaken for Brian by investigators. Like there is still ridiculous things that are happening in this case where to me it feels like it's not quite done yet. Whether that's just like media craziness or not, we'll see. But I think that like people are gonna milk this case for all it's got media wise. Um, and then on top of that, I think that people are going to some people are gonna want closure on this one, especially like legal action. I think, especially like like the hardcore people who have been like following Gabby, which there have been so many of. Yeah, Brian looks like his mom. Oh my gosh. Frank joined the chat. Hello, Frank. What is up? Thanks for coming back and hanging out with us. Project Achieva just joined the chat. Hey, I love how it's like using the hashtag Hey Natty as if we're like on WFLA and it's like Hey JB. Like, it's so funny. I love it. So let's get right into this video. I think I'm gonna speed it up a little bit just because I realize that it's a 22-minute video, and that's really long. So if anybody has any objections, let me know. But if not, I will speed this up just a little bit because 22 minutes is a lot. And I don't think that they're necessarily gonna have anything enough to like really fill up 22 minutes of space, if you guys get what I mean. Um, Frank says, I'm convinced that they planted evidence to buy time and now left to grieve, but they're actually going to meet up with him. Call me crazy, but seems plausible in this case. Um, this definitely has been a case of twists and turns and absolute insanity. To me, I don't think that that's the case. Like, I think feasibly it's not the case just because of my understanding, my personal understanding and knowledge when it comes to IDing somebody through dental records. Like IDing somebody through dental records, unlike what some people were saying of like, well, Brian probably just pulled a few teeth, like a few teeth out and like left it there with a body or whatever. Like when you ID dental records, like what they do is they, from my understanding, I'm not an expert, but they will pull your dental records as in i.e. like any scans of your mouth, um showing the exact alignment and placement of all of your teeth, so as to be able to match up perfectly where those teeth would be in that skull. To me, I don't see how somebody could feasibly fake dental records. Like there's no way to really reshape teeth and the way that they're situated in the sockets. Um, like they're not gonna call it Brian if there's like, just a few teeth laying around. Like they are gonna have the entire palette and row of teeth. Especially in this kind of a case, like investigators are not fucking around. Like they have massive heat on them to get the case figured out. Um, and if this was a case where Brian like it like there's like a question or whatever, like that would come out eventually and they would be in way worse trouble. Lee just joined the chat. What is up, Lee? Welcome. Uh we're in the middle of the dental records debate debacle. Frank said, but the problem with records match, it's not a DNA match. It's literally comparing a previous scan. So we don't know if they were loose teeth on the ground. If they were, would it be a match? I mean, it's possible if there was loose teeth on the ground. It's possible, as Frank was saying. And last thought, agreed, but they're not screwing around. But they've botched a lot of things so far, so I don't know. I mean, that's a fair point. That's totally a fair point. There have been things that have been pointed out as to being botched or a lot of questioning as to what the FBI and the just law enforcement in general is doing with this case. I mean, maybe they just said fuck it. It's Brian is Ryan. Like, but I don't know. I would hope that the law enforcement would do the right thing. Um, so, but again, like, if like the truth will always come out, right? So to me, it would be very, very stupid and incredibly detrimental if it like if this wasn't actually Brian, and they said it was him. You know, like because eventually it will come out, like somebody will spill the beans, something will happen to find out, especially in these kinds of cases, like somebody will say something. So to me, it's like that's not a smart move. Now, could it be a case where they were in such a rush to ID him as Brian that they fucked up when they were like looking at the dental records? Maybe. Like anything is possible. There have been cases where DNA or not DNA, where dental record evidence has been fudged. Um it does happen, but I think that I I think that if it did happen, I don't think that they would be dumb enough to do that on purpose, if that makes sense. I think it would be more like they were so scrambling to confirm that they removed from their mind any thought that it could be anyone else and they wanted it to be right. Um Danette, of course, criticizing law enforcement about Brian Laundrie escaping or getting away, where he ended up in the preserve. I mean, yeah, that was not a great take. Like, there's definitely been a lot of that where the person, the the guilty party has gone away, and they gotten away. You know, a big parallel between Gabby's case and Mia's case. It's definitely a problem. Um, Lisa, there are ways to fake dental records, but that would have to be a long-term plan from the beginning when you start going to the dentist. LOL, there are ways, which I doubt he did. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that, like, in my opinion, when it comes to this case, I don't know if police have ruled as they did in Mia's case whether or not he is in fact Gabby's murderer. Um, but I don't think that, like, if that is the case, like if he is the murderer, again, I don't know if the police ruled that yet or not, like they did with Mia's. So I'm gonna continue to speak in terms of like if he did or not. Um, I don't think this was like a long con. Like, I truly don't think this was a long con, in my opinion. Yeah, Frank said, "We'll revisit this conversation if his parents don't come home." That's fair. That's fair. But also, I will say to the contrary, maybe his parents don't come home because like there's this crazy long con and like Brian's alive somewhere. Um, but on the flip side, maybe they don't come home because they don't want to be a part of that media circus outside of their house and with billions of people showing up to like take a selfie because it's for funsies, like outside of their house. Like I wouldn't want to come back to that. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't think that, like, there's a big possibility in my mind they just like leave and never come back at some point. I always thought that would probably be the plan, regardless of if Brian's alive or not, just because they don't want to deal with the constant media attention. They don't want to deal with the fucking crazies outside. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that is fair. Chris said, "I've read dental records can easily be off. A human mouth is continuously moving and changing." That is fair. They could be off. It is something that I talked about. It's not, um, as I've understood, it's not an exact science, but hopefully this is a situation where he, by some chance, ended up getting some dental work done right before the trip or something. Um, but we'll never know unless the police end up putting out the information. It's just one of those things where we won't know, but I truly hope that they continue to words. They are just honest about it. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys. My husband just got home, so I just needed to make sure that he didn't just like bust in the middle of the stream. 1 second. Let me just make sure. All right. Crystal said Roberta and Brian look so much alike. Yeah, I don't know how the hell they messed that one up. They basically called her a man. Yep, pretty much at that point. Which is messed up. Lee said his parents are back at the house. Was reported they returned today. That's really good information. I guess there goes kind of Frank's theory. I guess maybe a little bit. Crystal said Chris and Roberta returned home this afternoon from Orlando, where they were visited with Cassie, which I believe is his sister, if I'm remembering correctly. And Frank said, looking at a tweet from Northport Police from 3 hours ago, and DNA analysis still hasn't been completed, so they're going on dental records only at the moment. Oh man, I hope that they are able to have a complete analysis from DNA and a correct match so that this like whole debacle could be just laid to rest. I truly wasn't sure if they were going to be able to do DNA analysis based on their previous statements, kind of making it seem like it was just skull and bones at that point. So hopefully they're able to actually get what they need to make a match or not make a match and prove the conspiracy theorists right. Um, or the conspiracy theories or what have you. Can't think of a better word, the conspiracy theory. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I agree. I think they'll probably move eventually when no one's watching. Um, I think they'll probably just buy a house silently somewhere. Probably leave everything in that house. Just say fuck it and leave everything and just start completely fresh. Um, I don't know how it works with like law enforcement help and stuff. Like I know like obviously like there's witness protection program, but they're not witnesses to a crime. So hopefully they can find something similar where they can go off, get new names, new identities, whatever, and go off into the sunset somewhere, i.e. Chris and Roberta, because like that whole situation is messed up and like no one deserves to be harassed. And also it's affecting everybody in the area. Crystal said you can get DNA from bones or teeth. How does that work? Also, I'm guessing because it's like fresher bones, like you would be able to do it. I've heard some stuff like that before, but I wasn't sure if that was all like fake, like the fake stuff for like TV kind of a thing. Um, Trying really hard not to mess up my liner. I actually did a little bit of makeup for the stream for once, so all right. Let's get into this video. Hopefully it's good. Actually, I'm gonna wait for it to. I don't know why it always loves to do that. Okay. Cool. Okay, where is the. Come on. Sorry, guys. Trying to
Just minutes ago, the FBI confirmed human remains found yesterday are Brian Laundrie.
John Q. Public can't get it in their head that these areas were inaccessible.
Talking about water levels up above almost the chest area.
We feel that the Laundrie family knows something, and they need to come out and speak.
What does it take to
Can
get
you
a
guys
more
hear
in-depth
that?
look into the week's top local news?
It's not playing in my earbuds. One second, guys. It was working earlier.
News stories.
Okay, there we go. All right, sorry about that. I couldn't hear it on my end, so.
Just minutes ago, the FBI confirmed human remains found yesterday are Brian Laundrie.
John Q. Public can't get it in their head that these areas were inaccessible.
Talking about water levels up above almost the chest area.
We feel that the Laundrie family knows something, and they need to come out
Oh
and
gosh,
What does it
can I
take to
just
get a
say
more
like that cardboard cutout of Gabby? That was really strange for me. Like that was very like I didn't like that at all. That made me feel very like weird. I don't know if that made anybody else feel weird. That made me feel really uncomfortable.
Let's look into the week's top local news stories. The Debrief brings you inside for a one-on-one conversation with our reporters every week, right here, right now. The Debrief.
Welcome to The Debrief. I'm Paisy Cheng. We're back here in Northport, Florida, where we continue to cover the Gabby Petito case. We start today with news that has already made its way around the globe.
Guys.
News that Brian Laundrie's remains were found in the Carlton Reserve. The FBI tweeting that a comparison of dental records confirmed this. These two Northport police officers went to the Laundrie's home this evening to let them know. Outside the Laundrie home, people continue to stop by with flowers and notes saying justice for Gabby. The Laundrie family attorney spoke with NBC's Tom Yamas.
I'm sure every parent out there knows that getting the news that your child is no longer, with you is sad under any circumstances. The fact that the Laundries have been subjected to these people out in front of their house for the last 4 weeks, and they continue out there today is just making it all the more difficult.
Shelby Simonson isn't from Northport, but has been following this case closely. She is among the internet sleuths who couldn't have predicted this ending.
I have dedicated my own personal time into this, so I'd love answers myself, and I know that the Petitos would love answers, and I think that a lot of America and the whole world who is watching want to see some kind of answer or retribution.
And the question remains, will we ever know what happened between Laundrie and Petito that led to her being found strangled to death in Wyoming? A notebook and other belongings found near Laundrie's remains could answer those questions.
The Laundries, we sympathize with them because obviously we're parents, but also Gabby's parents, and nobody knows how they would handle this thing.
But there are some questions that we can answer, and for that, we're going back to the experts, starting with Joseph Scott Morgan from Jacksonville State University in Alabama. He's going to tell us how authorities ID'd Laundrie's remains.
Okay, so Joe, we spoke to you when Gabby's autopsy, was revealed, but now we're learning new information about Brian. So these remains were identified today through dental records.
Right.
How accurate is that?
Oh boy, it's very accurate. And can you let me expand on this and how significant this is?
Sure, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, okay. Well, first off, dental ID has been around for a long time in our field. It's something that we can go to that is scientifically based. It's not like facial identification, that sort of thing, because you have pre-existing or antemortem records that would be at the dentist office. That piece of this is very significant, Paisy, and I'll tell you why. The fact that they were able to turn this around so quickly tells me, as an investigator, that they had already reached out to the dentist some time ago. When we have a body that is unidentified, we'll have to go through all manner of hoop jumping and this sort of thing to get records. They turned this around in less than 24 hours. That is very significant. That means that they were sitting on go. My suspicion is the FBI with the local authorities, sometimes it will require a subpoena. Sometimes they're more cooperative, but they know why they like this. This is what's happened. They had it standing by. And here's the other thing. They would probably have had to have called in a forensic dentist, otherwise known as a forensic odontologist. Now, they deal in bite marks, but particularly they deal with unidentified bodies and examination of postmortem dental remains, which is what we're dealing with here. And they were able to very quickly turn this around and get Brian Laundrie positively identified.
So you're saying that it's very accurate because there are a lot of people on the internet, as we know, who are saying, oh, this is just another ruse. It can't possibly be him. But you're saying dental records pretty much airtight.
Let me, and this is something people can grasp hold of at home. Everybody right now, think about the last trip you took to the dentist. It doesn't matter, even if you've had braces when you're a kid, everybody's dentition is unique to them. And when you take that uniqueness that you're born with and you wear on those teeth over a lifetime, all of the rotations, malocclusions, all of the cavities that have never been treated, those that have been treated, tooth extractions, caps, bridges, all of these things, extractions of molars. I mean, how many of us have had our wisdom teeth taken out over the years? Each one of those points along that continuum are unique. That's why it makes it so very difficult. I would assume that people are saying that they have faked the dentistry in this. I have no idea. But that's why it makes it so unique to each individual. So unless some, I don't know, ne'er-do-well out there has access to great science, and they're able to go in and create some kind of faux dentistry. This is him. It's going to be right on the money.
Now, these remains, right, that were described to us as skeletal remains, partial skeletal remains, and that even a part of a skull bone was discovered.
Right.
You know, one question that a lot of people had was, if you were in the preserve for, you know, let's say 5 weeks, right, if that's the estimated time, would the body decompose to that point where it's skeletal remains?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Remember, we're dealing with high heat and high relative humidity. And for just step back for a second and think about when you were in grade school or middle school or whatever, and you first went into a science lab and they introduced you to a Bunsen burner and alcohol burner. Remember, experiments in science start with heat, don't they? It speeds up molecular activity. The same principle in our context in forensics. A body in this environment, this harsh environment, what we're talking about here, and let's face it, Southern Florida, it's marshland, is going to decompose more rapidly. Say, for instance, in somebody that's up on the Canadian border and where the temperatures at night tend to be cooler, you've got more of a middle ground there with temperature, you get this kind of extreme outside of maybe a desert environment. It stays pretty hot. I mean, a lot of us that are viewing this, many of us have been in Florida. You know how miserably hot, great state, but you know how miserably hot it can get during the summertime. It's insufferable many times. And he's on the coast. He's not near the beach. He doesn't have a wind blowing, all this sort of thing. It makes it very comfortable. No, he's in a marshy area. And the only way I can really describe this to people is imagine that you're maybe in a jungle-like setting. The floor is not exactly the same, but let's face it, it's hot, it's humid, there's a lot of greenery, you got a lot of low growth, and then you've got a lot of canopy in there too. So it's holding in the heat, and this is like being in a convection oven, essentially, and it begins to render the body down over a period of time. Hazy, one thing that is very significant here that you were right to mention, they talk about these being partial, that this is like a partial skeletal remains case. That's significant because we have to begin to think about scavenger activity. We also have to think about what kind of toll the environment has taken on the body. Sometimes bodies will just literally come apart. We don't know what's missing. And also, we have to factor in this idea that they said the body was at least submerged or partially submerged. So now you've got current, potentially, at least a small amount, as the water rises and falls, or remains being swept away. I don't know. They haven't answered that question. And to the final point, and this is kind of the thing that really grabbed me when I heard this. I'm glad you brought it up. They talk about the skull. Now, tell me again precisely what was it that they said about the skull? That it was what?
They said it was a partial human skull.
Partial human skull. What does that mean? Let's think about that. We have to include the jaw. Okay, so if we include the jaw in this idea, was the lower jaw missing? Because it can become disarticulated at the TMJ, right? Okay, that's standard. But also another factor, was there trauma? Was there trauma to one aspect of the skull that caused one of the areas, maybe the parietal area or the frontal area or the temporal area or the occipital area, to literally come loose? You know, when we're being formed, when in development, we have what are called suture lines that kind of fuse our skull together, okay? And sometimes
So I just want to like pop in here for a second. I know I haven't been saying much, but I think it's really interesting what he's saying. I think this actually has, ironically enough, answered a lot of the questions that we've been saying in the chat and on stream. What hasn't been answered is Berserk's question of, don't alligators eat bones? That's a really good question. I have no idea. I think they probably just eat everything whole, but I don't know. That's a good question. We should find out. Welcome to the chat, by the way. I think Berserk's been here before, but I'm not 100% sure. But thanks for joining us. Also, it's really interesting that he talks about how the accuracy of dental records, I think, like, I want to know what the actual percentage rate accuracy of dental records is, because he's like basically saying it's 100%, but like nothing is like really ever 100%. Maybe it is as close to 100% as we could possibly get. I did recently watch something, it was like Solved Mysteries or Unsolved Mysteries or whatever. I don't remember it's like that show that's been around forever and it's on Netflix. But they were talking about dental records accuracy, but it was different. It wasn't dental records in IDing somebody in this manner, in the way that they were IDing Brian Laundrie. It was in the context of a bite mark. They used dental records and said that with, you know, the expert was coming with 100% accuracy, this bite mark is this person, he's the one, he's the killer, blah 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 blah. And later it was found that like it was done really sloppily, and like technically that's not true. It isn't 100% accuracy, and it really wasn't perfectly aligned, and like there was stuff that was put into what they showed that made it seem more credible than it was. But I think that like it's interesting to hear that there are parts of that part of science that aren't always 100% accurate. Again, I think it might be because of the circumstances of that situation, and also because of it was cross-referencing a bite mark instead of an actual set of teeth versus a scan of said teeth. It seems like it would be different and probably at least a little bit more credible and exact. Let's see, I'm gonna pull people's messages really quick before continuing the video. Crystal had said that they've pulled DNA out of mummies thousands of years old. All right, well, that's pretty dope. Frank said, reading that DNA extraction from teeth/bone is a multi-day process. For example, there are multiple stages that have to incubate for a day or more in different chemicals, together about 4 to 5 days. That's really interesting, and I'm sure they're probably pushing this case to the front of the line. I'm sure typically would probably take longer, like wait times, at least a few weeks, just because, you know, obviously there's so many cases and that's such a long period of time. Crystal said, I love that we're watching this at like 2 times speed. It's at 1.5 times speed right now. Only way to watch news dumps on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad having you guys sit through a 22-minute video. That's kind of a lot. Frank said, he said some ne'er-do-well. I agree with Dragonman's point. I was trying to find a good cutoff point, but it was just like not happening. I like when the news person does not interrupt the person being interviewed. I like this reporter. I do too. Like, it definitely was allowing him the space to like talk, which is important. Crystal said, what I've read, alligators like to take their meal to the water. They kill it, eat some, and will hide it in rocks and caves and return to nibble. All right, interesting. I'm from Florida. Didn't know that. Frank says that according to today's registered dental hygienist, forensic dental records match is about 42% accurate. Damn, that's a lot less than the pretty much 100% accuracy that this man was claiming. But I don't know what the context of that 42% accuracy is. I don't know if that's 42% across the board, across like any kind of testing that they might do, i.e. similar to what I was saying about them cross-checking a bite, like a bite mark. I don't know if that would include that, or if that's only specifically checking one set of teeth in somebody's skull to the scans of said same teeth elsewhere. I don't know if you have any more context on that, Frank, or if you can send me the link. You can't send any links here in the chat, but if you want to send it to me on the Discord server, be more than happy to pull that up on screen. Let's see. Chris said, cadaver dogs they brought in should have been able to smell human remains and alligator poops. So the dog handler that searched the reserve. That's really funny. That's really funny. I'm not even gonna lie. I guess he probably wasn't eaten by an alligator at all then. Like, no parts of it was eaten by an alligator. What they did say at the beginning, was that, or at least like they quoted somebody that the water was like like up to your chest, or like up to that guy's chest, which he's a man, so presumably he's like at least 5'8". So it would be taller than I am. That being the case, I don't know. Like, I know that there was some talk online at some point that like cadaver dogs could smell through the water, but like ostensibly, like, you're dead, right? So you're like lying down, maybe sitting. I don't know how his body wasn't floating. I don't know if maybe something was on top of him or he got pinched down somehow or something, and that's why his body wasn't just floating around in the water. But like, if we're saying that he was at the bottom of the water, and the water is, we're gonna say the guy is 5'8", so we'll say the guy's like average like 6 foot, so maybe the like the water is like 5'5" deep. To me, like, could a dog really smell through 5.5 feet almost of water to the bottom? Would they even be able to get to that, like, close enough to that section? Was maybe he was right in the middle of that whole, like, a huge thing of like water? I don't know. Like, we don't know exactly where Brian was found, so like I don't know the context of this comment. Not sure. Crystal said, did they search well? I don't think so. I'm not gonna say that they necessarily searched poorly. Because I don't know the context of like where he was in the water. That area that was flooded out, that was very, like, according to law enforcement, was very deep. I don't know where he was, in relation to everything. So I don't know if they necessarily did a bad job. If this was like some weird ass case where he was pinned down to the bottom of the body of water that was flooded, and that's why they couldn't reach it and didn't see him, I think it's possible. I mean, we're talking about how many acres? Like, acres? That's a lot of fucking land. And that's not easy terrain. Like, that, none of that is easy terrain. As somebody who like grew up in Florida, understands like Florida wetlands, Florida Everglades, and like that kind of surrounding landscape, that is not easy terrain in the slightest to try to comb through. So I don't think that they necessarily did a bad job. I think it was just a lot of variables. I think it is a very difficult situation. It's a lot of land to get through. It's a lot of variety in the land because you have these huge pockets of water. You have all of the trees, the bushes, the tall grasses, all of the animals. Like, it's not an easy terrain to get through. I know they had quite a bit of people. They did try to use drones and stuff, but the drones are only going to go so far in the tangle of trees. They're not going to go underwater. I don't think that they necessarily did a bad job. I think it was just bad circumstances. Ooh. And I whoop. And I whoop. Yikes. Yikes. That's all I'm gonna say about this. Yikes. Yikes, yikes. So many yikes. Oh my god, all of the yikes. Alright. Moving on. Let's keep watching this video about dental records and stuff. Not gonna talk about that comment. Ooh. Y'all trying to get me in trouble. I swear. I swear. Crystal's trying to get me in trouble here. Alright, let's keep watching.
Sometimes those areas can become weakened, particularly in this very hostile environment. Sometimes the skull will come apart. Well, and we have, as from a forensic standpoint, you have to look at this. Is the skull in a partial state, if you will, just give you a little latitude with that term, is it in a partial state because there was some kind of antemortem, which means pre-antemortem trauma that caused a defect in the skull? Or is this something that was postmortem, maybe animals involved with the skull that created the situation where the skull is only partially intact? That's one of the things that both the forensic pathologist and the forensic anthropologist are going to be trying to determine back at the medical examiner's office, and maybe at an anthropology lab somewhere where they can really study this very closely. They're going to be looking at specific fractures, trying to determine and estimate how long this has been indwelling in the spot. Was it, again, before death or was it after death?
So we're looking at the decomposition. This body was decomposed to a significant degree. Right. Do you think Brian was in this preserve the entire time?
That's hard to answer, but I will tell you, as a forensic scientist, that is certainly a question I would ask. I was thinking about this, Paisy, when the news came up. Well, we've been toying with this idea since we heard that they had found human remain, and I have to think, does this marry up with the timeline?
All right, I'm gonna slow this down just a little bit because I feel like some people probably like ran from the chat because it was too fast. So let me just like slow this down really quick. Crystal Did I type that out loud? Did I say that out loud? Did I type that out loud? Girl, you're so bad. Oh my gosh. All right, let me see if I can get this going. I'll still keep it going a little bit faster, but like 1.5 I think might be a little overwhelming for some people. This like super awkward stop of Brian. Come on. Crystal, oops, and I oop. And I oop. Let's see. Frank says he likes Crystal. We all love Crystal here. I feel like everybody else loves everybody else in this group, and I love that.
When he was last.
All right, here we go. We are halfway through the video already, so that 1.5 was really helpful, I think. One more second. One more second. All right, there we go.
Last seen alive? Is it possible to go downrange in linear time to try to decide if he has been down this long, or was it a period of time where he may have, I don't know, survived out there, lived for a while, maybe 1 to 2 weeks downrange, and then death was visited upon him either by his own hand or some accident, act of nature, or maybe some other person. I have no way of knowing. But that's something else that they're going to be exploring. Because
can I just say that was a really interesting way to say that somebody like unalived themselves. Death was visited upon him maybe by his own hand. I love that line. Like, I want to start using that. Like, that's how I'm going to start telling you guys that somebody unalived themselves. Death visited upon them by their own hand. Like, that's such a good way to say that. Is it just me? That sounds way better than unalive. Or offing themselves like I usually say. I love that. I don't know why. I think that's a great way of putting it. It's like, it is kind of poetic in my opinion. We got a new person on the stream. Welcome. We have John says, hi folks, welcome to the stream. We're kind of a big family here, so welcome. Feel free to chat, feel free to hang out. We're here all the time talking about different missing peoples and true crime cases. So thank you so much for joining us. And we're just watching a video about where does this case go from here. We're learning more about dental records and skeletal remains and DNA evidence. So we're having a good time. Thank you for joining us. Frank, I love the callback. The ne'er-do-well had death visited upon him. That's hilarious. I love it. Crystal said, hello, John. Dragonman said, that was a very diplomatic way to say it like that. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna say that from now on. I'm not gonna call people ne'er-do-wells, but death visited upon him by his own hands. I love it. Yeah, I agree. Project Chiba, all kinds of grim stuff. It's all kinds of grim, but I love it. Like, I think it is pretty, like, it's grim, but it's poetic, in my opinion. Yep, we covered that, and whoop. John said, hi, Crystal. John said, hey, thanks, and you're welcome. Thanks for joining us again. And Frank said, what? I am using that in a Zoom call tomorrow. Oh my god. Which part? The ne'er-do-well part or death had visited upon him? Because I don't know how you're gonna just casually include in a Zoom call tomorrow. Like, if this is like a work Zoom call, just being like, death had visited upon him. Like in what context are you using that in your Zoom call? That's hilarious. Unless like you're planning on being a guest on the show. I don't know where you're gonna like use that. Oh, okay. Frank clarified it's ne'er-do-well. Frank said, ne'er-do-well is a literal fire. I love this energy. Can we keep this energy right here? I love it. I love it. That was my question. I don't know where Frank works. If it was the case of, death that visited upon him, maybe he's a writer. Maybe Frank works at like a funeral home. I don't know in what polite context, work setting context you could use that. I don't know if somebody's gonna get you in trouble though, Frank, for saying ne'er-do-well. It's absolutely hysterical though. This is the fun part about being part of the stream, is that we talk about some grim stuff, but we try to find a way to laugh about some things in between. We find the comedic relief. So let's get back over to the video.
Because I can tell you, people like you.
Okay. Last comment on this. Lee said, LOL, make it fit. And Frank said, I'm a computer programmer, but it's happening. I love it.
You are going to be asking the ME and the forensic anthropologist those specific questions, because let's face it, everybody wants to know. I want to know. I want to know if this does marry up. One of the biggest points of contention throughout this entire event.
All right, I'm gonna just plug this right here because I appreciate Crystal doing the thing. Smash those likes. She double dogs dares you, so please do that. If you aren't already subscribed, please do that. We stream Monday through Thursday at 6:30 p.m. talking about all things missing persons, true crime, diving into the media stuff and the subjects and the topics and learning together. We're going to start covering more missing persons soon and some actual murder cases released soon, and we're going to have some community support on that, so hope you guys will join for that. Anyways, shameless plug removed. Let's go to the video now officially.
Has been the timeline, confusion, not knowing where he is, this idea, when was he last seen, when was he last spoken to, and he kind of just disappears off of the face of the planet. And it's only going to be through science that we're going to be able to answer this question in the physical body, and also any information that, say, the feds currently have that we're not aware of relative to tracking him digitally. And I think that's going to be a key as well, because I don't necessarily know that they've released all of the information in their investigation. I would suspect they probably have.
Now onto the search. How did authorities look for a month and find nothing? We asked Craig Kane, a retired U.S. Marshal, that question just hours before Laundrie's body was positively identified.
I'm back here in Northport, Florida, as you can see. And, yesterday, a couple weeks ago, actually, you and I had spoken, and you had said you don't think he's in the Carlton Reserve and you think he's alive. So my down yesterday, what do you think of that?
We could speculate from now till the cows come home, okay? I didn't believe that he was, I believe he was in the preserve at some point in time, but I believed that he was being helped, and I did believe that he was local. So that being said,
students with ADHD save 10 hours studying.
Yeah, I am going to skip the ad. Thank you very much. Come on. Thank you. Thank you so much, John, for liking and subscribing. I really appreciate that. We appreciate the love out here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, we're gonna hopefully get back to this video very soon. You gonna work with me? The one thing that stunks about streaming, or the hard part about streaming, is the internet slows down significantly. Sometimes it's hard to like get everything to get together and work. Fingers crossed that it'll work. Please work. Also, if you're interested in continuing with the community even more, we have a Discord. So you can always join that. We talk on there about upcoming streams, true crime, share stuff that we want to talk about, and kind of tips, information, and also talk about potential other streams that aren't necessarily true crime. Like I'm trying to plan a Halloween special. But I'm not sure what we're doing. So that's a great way to give your thoughts, opinions, and ideas for that. Yeah. John says, love any channel with a polka dot apple. Sir, my good sir, if you are a sir, let me know. This is a polka dot pumpkin. It says large pumpkin. I still haven't taken the tag off for whatever reason. I just didn't want to. I didn't take the tags off of any of the pumpkins that I bought this year. I bought a ton of fake pumpkins for the first time ever. I bought fake pumpkins. I can see why this does look like an apple, but it is in fact a pumpkin. We got a sweet new setup. I got 3 little pumpkins. I got this more squashy shaped pumpkin that I polka dotted myself. I got this this goth kid pumpkin that my husband painted himself for a little craft activity that we had. Some oh, you know what? Why haven't I done this yet? That was a missed opportunity. I have these sweet candles that I could have had on for the stream. That's a really missed opportunity. There we go. We're not missing that opportunity anymore. And then my sweet subscribe pillow that my husband had made for me. So this is the new setup. I love Project Achieva immediately. It's a pumpkin. A pumpkin. This is my fall setup. Maybe I'll change it later for like the holidays, you know, for the winter months. Don't know. John said, oh, pumpkin. Oh, well, I like those too. That's fair. That's fair. Frank just going with it. I like the black and white apple in the back. Oh my god, Frank. Crystal said, mood is set now. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I wish that you could see it a little better. Like, you can't really see the flicker because the background is white on them. But hopefully, I think you can mostly tell. I think you can mostly tell. Maybe if I... Can you tell more up there? No, not really, not really. Okay. Anyways, I stopped fiddling with my background. But now you guys are aware of my little Halloween setup that I'm really proud of. I might change the, like, backdrop at some point, but, like, this is what I had on hand, so we go for it, you know? Maybe I could do gray instead, or a blue. I don't know. I've been trying to find like a blue and pink backdrop, but I haven't found anything yet. Like, I want like fabric, like a big piece of fabric to use because it's just what works. I don't have like space for like a backdrop. Yeah, let me know if you guys find anything. Anyways. Frank said, you probably just thought the candles were Roberta Laundrie and missed it. You guys are trying to get me in trouble. Like, I swear. Frank said, sorry. I learned it by watching Crystal. I'm just waiting for the little, like, angel emojis. Like, I was waiting. I feel like that end of that should have had an angel emoji. Y'all are all bad. You guys are all bad. All right. I'm not even gonna comment on that last one. I just... Okay. Okay. We're gonna get back to the video now. Finally. Hopefully. Okay. What? I just saw you guys' comments because I was focused in on the video. I can't believe there was no sound the whole time. No! No! Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to try to back this up. Dang, he made some really good points too. Wait, how long was that for? Dang it. Did we? Okay, hold on. Was this where we stopped? How long did we stop? Alright, I'm just gonna restart it from the beginning of this guy's interview. Of why the search took so long, because I'm not sure. Can you guys hear it now?
Now onto the search. How did authorities look for a month and find nothing? We asked Craig Kane, a retired U.S. Marshal, that question just hours.
I realized that I realized what went wrong. But, like, let me know if you guys can hear it now. Okay, cool. Just to, like, go back really fast. Frank said, we're way off topic, but I'm having a blast with you guys. I'm really glad. Sorry, I see all the no sound comments. I'm sorry. Oh, but John's like, 888, like, no sound. Dragon Man said, it is interesting to see all these experts talk after their theories have not panned out as they thought they would. That's fair. That's really fair. And everybody's saying that they can hear it. So, okay, all right. We are going to try this again. Load, please. Please load. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's do this again.
Hours before Laundrie's body was positively identified.
I'm back here in Northport, Florida, as you can see. And, yesterday, a couple weeks ago, actually, you and I had spoken, and you had said you don't think he's in the Carlton Reserve and you think he's alive. So, down yesterday, what do you think of that?
That's really ironic. Like, everything he said was completely inaccurate. All of his guesses were inaccurate, but, like, I mean, this is why it pays to be like, I don't freaking know, because you don't know. You don't know until you know, for real, for real. Like, don't assume.
We could speculate from now till the cows come home, okay? I didn't believe that he was, I believe he was in the preserve at some point in time, but I believe that he was being helped, and I believe that he was local. So that being said, there's a lot of moving parts.
Let's just talk about how they found these items, okay? The police and the FBI are searching what seems to be every inch of this 25,000 acre nature reserve in the past month or so. They haven't been able to find squat. One day, the Laundrie say, we're going to go and look. They bring the FBI there.
Can I just say, hold on a second. Can I just say, Maisie Chang is a fucking baller. Like, she is an absolute baddie. Like, just the guts on this woman. I love it. Like, she just, like, no holds barred. She's like, essentially was just like, law enforcement didn't do jack shit. They fucked up. They didn't find him. And then all of a sudden, the Laundries found him in 30 minutes. The fuck? Like, this woman, absolute savage. Absolutely hilarious. It's not P-size change. Maisie Chang. It's on the screen, like, right there. John said, haha, do you know who you just sounded like? I don't know. Who did I just sound like? Probably my mom, if anybody. Crystal said, my spirit animal. I'm gonna say that comment was for the first John comment and not the size change. If that's the case, thank you. That's really sweet. I love that. I love this energy. Okay. I want to wait before I go back. I want to know who I sounded like. Because I don't want to stop and start it. I need to know, John, who did I sound like? Who do you think I sounded like? As soon as I said my mom, all I could think of was if you guys are into, oh my gosh, what's that show? Goddamn, I don't remember this guy's name, but like there's like Left Hand Ghost or whatever is in it, and like it's like a Cartoon Network show. And there's like that one guy who's always like, "Mom, like, oh man, I don't remember the name of the show now. It's so annoying. Frank said, "BRB, we'll see you soon, bud." All right, we're gonna watch Paisy Cheng, not P-size change, talk some more and just be like an absolute like just absolutely wreck people.
And they find a backpack, some other belongings of Brian's, and some human. Everyone speaking to says, seems suspicious. What do you think about
It's very fishy to me, that whole scenario. It just kind of reinforces my belief that the parents knew where he was all, and just really conjecture on my part. But the fact that they actually brought law enforcement to that specific site kind of leads me to believe that whether they were helping him or not, that I don't know. But, it's possible that they helped him in the very beginning when he first went into that preserve 4 or 5 weeks ago. They're going to cover every inch, every millimeter of that area where the body was found. Then they're going to gradually fan out and make, like a perimeter at some point where they feel comfortable that that's going to be the end of parts of his skeleton or body has been found. But they're going to be looking for, like I said, any kind of material evidence as far as, how he killed himself. Did he leave any kind of, I heard he had a notebook. Did he leave any kind of suicide note? Did he apologize for what he did? Did it show any remorse?
Okay, I just want to say this is such an interesting Manson, like Charles Manson, like murderer Charles Manson, like his groupie girls. No, I don't want to be compared to them. No. I don't want to be. I don't want to be compared to anybody associated with Charles Manson on the offense that you're talking about. Marilyn Manson, I don't want to be associated with him either. No. We're gonna erase that. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Absolutely not. Ew, no, John, do not put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Absolutely not. No. No, ew. No. What is that ridiculous line that Trisha Paytas used to say? I refute. I refute that evil. I refute it. Another person I do not want to be associated with is Trisha Paytas. I don't know the context of this. Lee, I don't know if this is the context of the Manson girls. John, stop. 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 Oh my god. I can never say that again. Like, I can never say you don't know till you know. Never again. I have not. I do not. What? Yeah, I know you're just messing with me. It's okay. Crystal said, we took a weird left. I lost. And said, I don't want any Kool-Aid. I don't either. The context of this is that I earlier said you don't know until you know, and John said that I sounded like some other famous people who apparently have said that. Or I should say some infamous people that I don't want to be associated with. So that's where that left turn came from. Also, the Kool-Aid, completely separate cult. Completely separate cult. Not even in the same stratosphere cult, but a cult nonetheless. Another thing I would actually love to talk about on my channel is because I am fascinated with cults. Absolutely fascinated with cults. All right, anyways, we're coming back. We're coming back from that insane left turn. We're gonna watch this video. Okay.
Remorse, because no matter what they find, it's still not closure to get family. They're never going to know if what prompted him to kill her, how it was done, you know, why, where, and how, and all that sort of stuff. It would have been nice to capture him alive, and hopefully they would have got a confession out of him, or he could have given the family or law enforcement some kind of answers that could have brought some kind of closure to the family. Unless he left some kind of, you know, testament, I just don't see how they're going to know the circumstances that happened in Wyoming.
What we don't know is the condition of the notebook at this point. If it was indeed submerged underwater along with his backpack, like there.
Okay, that was the point I was originally stopping the video to make earlier, but then we took the left turn. Was about the condition of the notebook. Like, was that all just ruined? It's something we've talked about on the channel already, in other Gabby live streams, or Gabby related live streams. Gabby was the topic of those live streams. Gabby's case. We all know what I mean. Anyways, continuing.
Like they're saying, you know, it could be illegible and you wouldn't be able to know anything
Excellent,
from it.
excellent question. Yes, that was another point that I was going to bring out. You know, we don't know if he was in that particular area and then, you know, the flood came in, the water came in, it rained. I just can't, unless he drowned himself. I mean, you know, that's also a possibility. Who the heck knows? You know, everything everybody thought about this case turned out to be a lot different. Look, like I always say, you know, investigators are humans. Like, they're going to make some mistakes possibly. And not that I believe there was any mistake made. You could search a house for a fugitive and not find him, and he's in the house. And that happened plenty of times with us. He's right under our nose, hiding in a...
A girl. Can I just say, like, him saying that was, like, very, in my opinion, unhelpful. Like, I feel like he just, like, decimated any kind of, like, confidence in law enforcement with that statement of, it happens plenty of times that fugitives are not seen in a house. Excuse me? What were they, in the wall? I don't understand how y'all fucked up that bad. Like, that, like, you're ruining anybody's confidence in law enforcement right now, sir. Like, you're digging everybody a hole. Jeez. Just to, like, go off into the comments really quick while we're out here. People talking about cults. A little bit. The Moonies and Scientology were some interesting groups. I was approached by some Moonies years ago downtown. Yeah, the Moonies are wild. That is kind of the one cult that, like, I don't know what it is about them that just doesn't 100% interest me. I don't know why. Like, I'm obsessed with cults, but something with the Moonies, I just, like, never am interested about it. I don't know, maybe it's just in a weird way not as extreme as other ones, or maybe it's just like something about the way that they do things. It is extreme what they do, but it's not the most extreme. I think I like I like learning the most about extreme cults that are more like, I think, either very new agey cults or very like not even hyper religious. It's like they kind of twist things or religions in the background. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, just like something with the Moonies just never really interested me. Scientology, holy crap, I could listen to Scientology stuff all day long. I wouldn't be opposed to learn about the Moonies or to do a video about them. It's just not the cult that I'm like most fascinated with. I'm also really fascinated with like fundamentalism, like fundamentalist Christians especially. That is like really like that whole dynamic is like fascinating to me. Where it kind of, diverges into that, but yes, as John is like, is that a left turn? A little bit. It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna run with it a little bit. So we're just talking about the Moonies, which is the Unification Church. They are still around. They are still doing, if anybody's interested. The Moonies are still around. They are most well known for like these massive, massive, massive events where they just pick people. Like all of these young people arrive. And they're just kind of like, you and you're getting married. You and you get married. You and you get married. Like we're talking like hundreds of people just like randomly getting married to one another who've never met ever in a million years. Like they come from all over the world to these like mass marriages. Yeah. I don't know, something about it. Maybe it's also that it's like still an active practice that's like a little like I don't know. Something about the Moonies just doesn't. I just, you know. Jim Jones, on the other hand, is where the Kool-Aid kind of joke thing, like the drinking the Kool-Aid thing, that's Jim Jones. That's where that comes from. That is a huge story. So much craziness. Another cult that's really interesting to me. Hold on, I will double check what the name of this cult was. Heaven's Gate. That is a hell of a cult. Hell of a cult. So, yep. Jeez. John says Moonies are boring. Bruh. Bruh. Oh my god. You guys are destroying me. Dragon Man said there was these two cute Japanese girls handing out brochures for a dating service. This was 20-something years ago. They were masquerading the Moonies calls as a dating service. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Crystal said, couldn't pick a guy worse than I do myself. They got a website. Crystal. Crystal. Oh. John said, did you say Heaven's Gate by LA? No, I don't think what you're thinking about has anything to do with what I'm talking about. Was they They actually, if anybody's interested in learning about Heaven's Gate and their craziness, they actually still have an active website, even though it's happened in like the 80s. Or actually earlier than that, I take that back. It was founded in 74. Let me see. They started off in New Mexico and then moved to San Diego. Yeah, Heaven's Gate is like woof. Oof. All right, anyways, we're gonna like skirt get back on topic real fast. Okay. Anyways, back to this video.
In a crawl space, hiding in the attic. You know, we had people hiding under mattresses in between televisions. They had a hollowed out television set where this guy would crawl into. Understand? So that being said, and that's just a house. Now you're talking about a nature preserve. Law enforcement could have walked past that area a dozen times, and depending on the circumstances, might have walked right past him. It happens.
Finally, where does the case go from here?
I can't even with the funny cult jokes. All right, I'm staying on topic. I think what the shaman had to say was really interesting. I think that the elaboration on the situation with law enforcement not finding people properly was a little bit better than what it first sounded like. But I mean, like, human error is a thing. Like, they're human beings. So it's understandable that things like this happen, and maybe they did pass it 100 times and just didn't see it. Again, he could have. There was that male officer who we're gonna say was somewhere between 5'8" and 6 foot, the average height for a man. You know, he said that the water was up to here. That's pretty deep. If he was pinned down to the bottom, what are the chances of them really finding him? And if he was in the middle of a big lagoon that was like formed because of flooding, it's one of those things.
Will we ever truly know what happened between Brian and Gabby?
We talked to Wason Dunn, a former FBI special agent with more than 30 years in the field.
Students with ADHD save 10 hours reading articles with this Chrome extension, but no, by all.
Okay, can you stop? Stupid ads. One second. Okay. Paisley Chang just asked in this video, so where does this investigation go from here? Is the FBI going to be the lead investigator? It wouldn't let me, you know, computer stuff. Anyways. We continue. Oh, gosh darn it. Not again. I thought I had unmuted it. Damn, that was dumb. Okay. What? Can we stop making fun of her name, John, please? That's not nice. That's not nice at all. It's not necessary. Let's not make fun of her name. Come on. We're better than this. Girl, Crystal, we are better than this. We are better than this, okay? Now my computer doesn't want to do the things. Come on. Thank you. John said he'll stop. Crystal, stop it. Okay, thank you. Please load. Okay, there we go.
Finally, where does the case go from here?
It's
Will we
unmuted
ever
now.
truly know what happened between Brian and Gabby? We talked to Wason Dunn, a former FBI special agent with more than 30 years in the field. So where does the investigation go from here? I mean, is the FBI still going to be the lead investigator, or does it go to Northport Police now because Brian was found here?
Well, that's a very complicated question. As far as the FBI's involvement, I think a lot will depend on whether there are any potential additional federal crimes that might be investigated. If there are, then the FBI potentially will stay involved unless all crimes that may have been committed are believed and suspected to be only committed by Brian Laundrie. But as long as there are investigative leads that have not been covered and potential crimes that could still be investigated, there is a potential the investigation could go on at the federal level. The other possibility as well is that the FBI traditionally will assist state, local, and county police departments when requested to do so. So if there is any local investigation that continues and they need some of the resources and tools of the FBI, that could continue FBI involvement as well. However, certainly from the news reports I've heard, it sounds like any investigation directly involving Brian Laundrie probably has come to an end with the confirmation of his death.
Really? So at this point, do you think that the FBI or any other investigative, body would be able to find out what happened on this trip?
It's going to be a real challenge. I mean, first of all, there's the potential. There may be some forensic evidence and forensic leads that could still be followed, although that seems remote, quite candidly. The other possibility is if there are other...
I would just like to point out, that wasn't even 2 minutes. That was not even 2 minutes, Crystal and John. It was 1. He said, okay, I'll stop at 7:53, and then couldn't help himself by 7:54. Y'all are trying to get me in trouble.
Other eyewitnesses or people who may be tangentially aware of things. And now that the case has become more public, if additional people come forward, potentially that could lead to a solution. But this is a challenging case and a very unusual case. Certainly if the victim and the suspected perpetrator are both deceased, that really limits the ability to move the investigation forward.
Wow. And what about the parents' involvement, Brian Laundrie's parents? Do you think FBI would be investigating, what role they may have had?
Potentially, if there is an indication that they have been involved with a federal crime, or if a state or local agency requests FBI assistance, that certainly would be a possibility. There's been a lot of speculation about that. The only thing I can say in that regard is that the fact that it's confirmed that Brian Laundrie is deceased certainly makes it more challenging. And one could say, even if the parents were involved, it would seem unlikely, I guess, that they would be involved in the death of their own son. But you never know.
Well, not even just his death, but not like, did they know when he came home that Gabby was in trouble?
Yo, Frank's back. What is up, my man? What is up? I was like, peace, but like nobody can see me going peace out here. Peace. What's up, my man? What is up, Frank? Welcome back. Jeanette said, I don't think they're going to get far with Brian's parents. Yeah, I don't think so either. Also, I didn't get a chance to email you back. Just like going to take the sidebar really fast. I didn't get a chance to email you back, but I did see your emails. I am going to respond. And I am going to send emails out to everybody that you copied me on. I'm going to take this moment also to plug that my brain was working too fast for me to speak with. Dana is working with me on a case to to talk about soon. A murder case that actually happened that she has some personal connection to. So I'm really looking forward to that, and we're gonna make like a really big thing out of it. So I look forward to you guys hanging out with us. It'll be a little bit further on because I want to make sure to dedicate the proper time, space, energy, research to understanding the case fully, because it's a case that really deserves to be heard, and deserves its true spotlight and deserves to have justice for. So hopefully we can, you know, shine a light on the case, and I hope you guys stick around for it. And I hope that you guys will help signal boost with us and share it with everybody that you know. I'm gonna be working on being able to simulcast from here, Twitch, and probably Facebook as well, just so that we can get as many people on as possible, because I think it's really important to talk about. Yeah, and I'll probably be investing some of my own money to signal boost it and stuff like that. So fingers crossed that everything goes well. Crystal said, I want, oh wait, actually I'm gonna take this second because I saw it, didn't I? Danette said, no worries, they're excited about getting their story out. And she also said, thank you so much, Natty. This is another one that I do want to cover very soon, about the murders of the newlyweds, Kylan and Crystal. What's the best way to get notes out to me? Probably email. But it's really up to you. I'll make a Google Doc for, wait. Did I make a Google Doc? I work off Google Docs, so if anybody is interested in helping out, I did make a Google Doc. I did include the link on the server. So if you want to join that and add your notes on there, you're more than welcome to. I work off of Google Docs. I kind of have a setup where I have like a background section, and then also it's like date and then event, plus you can add a link in. So if anybody's interested in that, check out the Discord server. It's linked in the description below. But that's a good way to get in contact. I also have a form set up that's also linked, where if you're interested in seeing a certain case and you have notes and stuff like that, you can like go ahead and put that up for me to talk about. Anyways, swooping back in. Oh, okay. Crystal said, I asked for access on the Google Doc. I didn't have it set for having to do access, but okay. I'll have to see. And then it said, I filled out the info page on the Google Doc. I don't know if you're talking about the Google or the form, because there's like the Google form, which is what I meant earlier when I was saying that it was linked below for you to like fill out if you're interested in seeing certain cases from me. So there's the form, and then there's like the Google Doc that I have my note, like my Google Doc notes that I have linked on the server. But I will get you access to the Google Doc, so I'll take care of that tonight. Just gonna go back really quick. Frank said heart, sent hearts earlier. Crystal said, I want every little detail about why, what, and when Brian did or didn't do everything. I really fear we'll never know any real details, just whatever Hollywood makes for the movie, many movies that will be. That's a great point, and we all know this is gonna happen. I think that's a great point. Like the movie thing, like that's so gonna happen. How many Lifetime movies are gonna make out of this? Like how many big box office movies are gonna make out of this? Project Achieva says, I'm over here watching quietly. Love it. Hilarious. Bro, John really went for it again. 5 minutes later, just like slithering in with the more puns. Crystal said, welcome back, Frank. John is misbehaving. Let's see. Anybody else that I'm missing? Yeah. Crystal asked for access to the doc. I will give you the access to the dock tonight. All right, I'm gonna play this again. Okay, here we go.
In trouble. Did they have an obligation to report that to police?
That would be one avenue of investigation that may still remain. That would probably be more on a state or local level. But again, if there is any indication that they were aware of or participated in obstruction of justice related to a federal crime, then that aspect certainly could still be pursued.
So really, I mean, at this point, if people are hoping to find out, and certainly Gabby's family wants to find out what happened in Wyoming, right? What happened between the time that they last heard from her and the time that he came back to Northport? Is there going to be any way for them to find out?
Well, potentially, again, it's going to be really challenging. If there are no other people that come forward that have information, if nothing is brought forth by someone else who has information, the only other possibility might be forensic examination of digital data, forensic examination of cell phone data. But again, those are long shots. It all depends on whether the individuals had their phones with them, whether they were on or off, and things of that nature. So going forward, it is going to be very, very challenging to move this investigation forward, if at all.
Thanks for listening to The Debrief. Reporting here from Northport, Florida, I'm Paisley Cheng. We'll see you next week.
No. No one asked you to do that. All right. John just keeps going. Chris was like, do we have a naughty list going? If we do, John's at the top of the list right now. Oh my God, Crystal, you're so bad. Jeez. Yeah, you know what? Project Achiever is sitting very quietly, which at least Project Achiever is not trying to get me in trouble. But it is a lot more fun people chat, so you get half a sticker. Anyways, that was it. We took an hour and a half to watch a 22-minute video. How does that work? I don't know. We got a new person in the chat. Welcome, Neil. Neil said he's wrong. Gabby's death will remain in the FBI's domain. Found on federal land, a federal case. Yeah, I think it's definitely a sticky situation. I don't know how they're gonna parse everything out. I mean, he was a former FBI investigator, I think they said, so I would assume have more intimate knowledge. I think it's not necessarily about Gabby's case. I think it's more of the Brian side of things. I don't know. I don't know how that would all work. But I think at some point they do try to take things off of their plate if they can. Like being the FBI, I don't think it's unheard of them to step down a case to local law enforcement. So I think that might be what they're trying to do. I don't know the intricacies of how that all works though, because I am not law enforcement. But thank you for joining the stream. Everybody's sending you love already. We're like a very talkative group, a very supportive, loving group. So welcome. John wants to know, what does my shirt say? It says Young the Giant, Home of the Strange Tour. I don't know if you guys can see that all the way, but Home of the Strange Tour. I love Young the Giant. And this was from a few years ago, so don't worry, I'm not going to concerts right now. Okay, we're gonna fixing that one little curl that likes to just ba-doing. You see it? You see it? It just doesn't go away, you know? There we go. Hopefully I got rid of it. That's fair, Frank. That is very fair. That's very fair. Everybody gets a sticker for being on the stream, to be honest. I think you get brownie points for chatting with us. I think that's what the rule is. You get extra points. Or maybe an extra sticker. I don't know. Except I think that John is the exception because he is stirring it, stirring the pot. And he's not cleaning it, he's stirring it. I don't think that the preserve was national park land. I think it was a state park, or it might have been a private. I don't know. Let me check. What was the name of the preserve? Brian Laundrie Nature Preserve. Nature. The Carlton Reserve. Carlton Reserve. Is the Carlton Reserve state land? Let's find out. I don't think it's I don't think that it's state land. It's definitely not national. It just says Memorial Reserve. It doesn't say who owns it, but I don't think it's it says it doesn't say purchased by who, but it says purchased in 1982 for the purposes of developing a well field to provide drinking water for the county. 24,000 acres are set aside for natural resource protection and nature-based recreation. So I guess the county owns it. Myakkahatchee, yeah, that is like I think the subsection or like a next door one, but I think he was found in the Carlton Reserve. I'm not sure. I'm all mixed up now at this point. Okay, he was found in Myakkahatchee, and I can't even say it because the writing is so strange. Myakkahatchee Creek. Let's see. Do we have? We got some other stuff. This is not what I was looking for. 1 second. We had some other stuff to like talk about, but we've also been on for like an hour, 38 minutes and 28 seconds and counting. And I'm trying to keep the streams at least a little bit shorter than like the usual 2 hours that we keep doing. But so I think I'm going to peace out for the night. So we still got the weird question about Roberta Laundrie being mistaken for Brian. And Laundrie family attorney speaking out, so maybe we can talk about that tomorrow. Neil said they usually wouldn't defer a murder to the locals, particularly with this much exposure. None. Yeah, I mean, maybe the dude was wrong. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know anything about that, like how that all works with law enforcement. So I guess we'll find out. But tomorrow, let me get your votes really quick before I head out for the night. You got 2 options. We can talk about Gabby. We got 2 different idea topics for this week. One is continuing with Gabby's case, talking about like Roberta Laundrie being mistaken and the interview with the family attorney and stuff like that, and anything else might pop up. We can either do that tomorrow or Thursday. And conversely, we can also be doing I've been dying to do a stream where I finally show you guys what I got for my birthday, and all of the stuff that I bought on my road trip through New York, Jersey, and we went to Philly, we went to Pennsylvania. So let me know which one you guys would like to see tomorrow versus Thursday, which one you're interested in. I think maybe we should do the birthday stream in between just to like break it up, I guess. I don't know. Let me know if that's maybe something you guys aren't interested at all. I don't know. Let me know. If you haven't already, please check out the Discord, like and subscribe, as Crystal is letting us all to know to do. I appreciate that. John is being very sweet and saying, I've never seen a live stream with a more gorgeous hostess. Thank you. I did my makeup today. What? Like and subscribe. Thank you. Thank you. Blair. Why did I call you Blair? Danette said, can't we do them both? Frank said, birthday is good to me. Everybody sounds like they're down for the birthday stream, so that's really fun. Neil said, nice talking to you. It was nice talking to you too. I hope that you do subscribe and hang out with us some more. Like you might have heard, we have a Discord where we talk about all this stuff. So I'd really love it if you join us on there. We stream every like Monday through Thursday, 6:30, unless I have a doctor's appointment. So love for you to join us for that. Like I said, we'll do birthday tomorrow, and then Thursday we'll talk about Gabby again. We got a lot of more missing persons cases we're going to keep covering. We're going to keep talking about Mia Marcano and a bunch of people. So I hope you join us for that. Anybody who's listening or watching right now. But yeah, everybody sounds like they're really down for the birthday stream. So that's really fun. I really appreciate that. I love that. I love how Frank is getting in on this dog dare and saying it's a quadruple dog dare now. He's in on it to like and subscribe. So please do if you haven't already. I appreciate it. Crystal loves that. Love that. Everybody's saying good night. So I appreciate you guys all for hanging out with me today and every day. I love talking to you guys and laughing with you guys and getting upset with you all. Could like all of us at the same time getting upset about cases. It's nice to have a community to talk to about this. John's really down, so love that. Frank said, because she put 4 dog emojis, so quadruple. All right, I love that. I love this energy. Anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow at, let me double check because I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. Let me make sure what time that's at. Wait 1 second. Sweet. I will definitely see you guys at 6:30. It's early enough where I can still make the 6:30 time. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Stay safe out there. I hope you guys have a great night, and I will see you